Hey, welcome back to Garden Crumbs. I'm so glad you're here. So it is June. The garden is absolutely going off right now, and I want to talk about something that has genuinely changed the way I garden. Not a tool, not a technique, not some fancy fertilizer. I'm talking about self-seeding plants. Plants that drop their seeds, tuck themselves into the soil, and come back for you, year after year, without you lifting a single finger. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Self-seeding? Isn't that just a polite way of saying weeds? And, okay, fair. I hear you. But stick with me here because there is a real difference between a plant that self-seeds gracefully and one that just takes over your whole yard and makes you question every decision you've ever made. What I'm going to walk you through today are the self-seeders that work with you. The ones that give you free food, free flowers, and honestly, a garden that feels almost alive on its own. I've been growing most of these for years now. Some of them I planted once, and I have never had to buy seeds again. If you're someone who forgets to succession plant, or you just want a garden that does a little more of the heavy lifting, this video is for you. We've got 9 plants to get through, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. The first one on the list is cilantro, and I'm leading with this one on purpose because I think it's the most underappreciated self-seeder in the food garden. People get so frustrated with cilantro bolting. You plant it in May, June rolls around, temps climb, and suddenly your cilantro has shot up 2 feet tall and gone to flower. And every gardener I know has this moment of defeat. Like, great, it's done. Time to yank it. Don't yank it. That is the single biggest mistake cilantro growers make. When cilantro bolts, it's not failing you. It's setting you up for the rest of the season. Let those flowers open up because the pollinators absolutely love them. We're talking tiny wasps, hoverflies, lacewings, all the beneficial insects you actually want patrolling your garden. Then, let those flowers turn into seeds. Those round little seeds are coriander, by the way. A spice in their own right, completely edible, wonderful in curries and pickling brines. And then, this is the part you wait for, some of those seeds will fall. And in late summer, early fall, when the soil cools back down, you're going to see a flush of new cilantro seedlings coming up on their own. No replanting, no work. They just appear. I usually scatter a few extra seeds around in spots where I want them to establish, just to help them along the first year. But after that, cilantro basically manages itself in my garden. I harvest, I let some bolt, I ignore it, and it rewards me for ignoring it. That's the kind of relationship I like with a plant. Next up is dill, and dill is probably the easiest self-seeder I have ever grown. This plant wants to reproduce. It is absolutely determined. You grow it once, you let it flower, those big, flat, yellow umbrella heads that smell incredible in the summer heat. You let those go to seed, and I promise you, you will have dill coming up in that bed, and probably the bed next to it, and possibly in your gravel path for the rest of your gardening life. Dill is non-negotiable in my vegetable garden. It attracts black swallowtail butterflies, which, if you've never seen one nectaring in your garden, is a genuinely moving experience. It also draws in parasitic wasps that prey on aphids and caterpillars. And the flavor, fresh dill is one of those things where once you have it growing steps from your kitchen, you just cannot go back to the dried stuff. Dill pickles, potato salad, cucumber salads, eggs, dill goes on everything in this house from June through October. The one thing I'll say about dill is to be intentional about where you let it self-seed. It's tall, it gets feathery, and it can shade out shorter plants. I like to let mine self-seed along the edges of my beds or near the back. That way, I get all the benefits without it flopping over my lettuce. Okay, third, and I know this might sound basic, but bear with me, lettuce. Specifically loose leaf and cutting lettuce varieties. This one surprises a lot of people because we think of lettuce as something you have to replant constantly. And yes, if you're growing big heading types, that's true. But if you grow loose leaf varieties and you let even just a couple plants bolt and flower and go to seed at the end of their cycle, you will have lettuce coming up in that area for seasons to come. What I do is leave 2 or 3 plants at the end of each row intentionally. Let them bolt, let them flower. The flowers are tiny, but they're pretty. And again, the insects love them. And then as those seed heads dry out, I either let them drop naturally or I collect them and scatter them where I want the next flush of lettuce to come up. In mild climates, this can give you essentially a perpetual lettuce patch. Even here, where summers get hot and I lose lettuce for a couple months, I get a reliable fall crop that I did not plant. It just appears where I told it to, and that's honestly a miracle I never take for granted. Moving on. Arugula. If you are not growing arugula as a self-seeder, you are working way too hard. Arugula is one of those plants that, if you just step back and let it do its thing, will feed you almost indefinitely. It bolts fast, especially in heat, but the flowers are edible, they're mildly peppery, and the bees love them. Let it go fully to seed. Those seed pods, long and thin, will dry on the plant. You can collect them, you can leave them. Either way, you're going to have arugula. One thing I love about arugula self-seeders is that they tend to germinate in fall when conditions are perfect. Cool, moist, exactly what arugula wants. So you essentially get a fall crop that you didn't plan for. I've had years where my fall arugula from self-seeding was better than anything I planted intentionally. It comes up thick, it's tender, it's got that beautiful peppery bite. And I did nothing, absolutely nothing. That's the dream. Halfway through, let's talk about borage. Now, borage isn't as commonly grown as some of the others on this list, but I really want to make the case for it because this plant is extraordinary in a self-seeding garden. Borage has those stunning star-shaped blue flowers that are completely edible. You can toss them in salads, freeze them in ice cubes for drinks, use them as garnish. They're one of the prettiest edible flowers you can grow, and pollinators are absolutely obsessed with them. Bumblebees in particular, I have never seen so many bumblebees in one place as I do around my borage in June and July. Borage self-seeds so readily that once you plant it, you're done. You will have borage showing up every single year, and it doesn't just come up once. It tends to come up in waves, which is actually great because you get flowers over a long stretch of the season rather than one big flush. The leaves are edible too, tasting faintly of cucumber, though they're hairy and better cooked or used when young. Mostly I grow borage for the flowers and for what it does for my garden ecosystem. It's one of those plants that earns its place 20 times over. Number 6. Nasturtiums. Okay, yes, technically nasturtiums are often grown as annuals. And yes, in cold climates you lose them to frost. But if you let them set seed before the frost hits and you leave those seeds in the ground, they will come back. Nasturtiums produce large, pea-sized seeds that just lie in the soil over winter and germinate in spring. I've had nasturtiums I never replanted come up for 4 or 5 years running. And what a plant. Every single part is edible. Flowers, leaves, seeds. The flavor is peppery, bright, a little spicy. Nasturtium flowers in a salad are genuinely one of summer's great pleasures. The seeds can be pickled and used like capers. The leaves work well in sandwiches or blended into pesto, and the plant itself acts as a trap crop for aphids. They cluster on nasturtiums instead of your brassicas or your beans. I actually plant them near my squash and beans on purpose for this reason. It's pest management and a food crop and a pollinator plant all in one. Honestly, nasturtiums might be the best value plant in the edible garden. 7th on the list, calendula. If you haven't grown calendula, please remedy that immediately. Calendula is one of those plants that once it's in your garden, it becomes a permanent resident, and you will be grateful for that every single year. The flowers are bright orange and yellow. They bloom from early summer all the way into frost if you keep deadheading, and they self-seed prolifically. Like, very prolifically. Let a few seed heads dry on the plant, crack one open, look at those curved little seeds. They look almost like tiny caterpillars. And then imagine those all over your garden. That's what you're signing up for. But here's the thing, calendula is so useful that having a lot of it is never a problem. The flowers are medicinal. Calendula salve for skin, calendula tea for inflammation, dried petals in oils and tinctures. They're also edible and beautiful as a garnish. And they attract a huge range of pollinators. In terms of the work-to-benefit ratio, calendula might be number 1 on this entire list. Plant it once, let it seed, and it just keeps showing up for you season after season. Number 8. Fennel, and specifically bronze fennel, though green works too. Now, I want to be upfront that fennel can be a bully in the garden. It's allelopathic, meaning it inhibits the growth of some plants nearby, and it does self-seed aggressively. So you want to be smart about where you plant it. Give it a dedicated spot, ideally a bed edge or a corner of the garden where it has room to do its thing. That said, fennel is one of the most extraordinary plants you can grow for wildlife and for your own kitchen. Every part is edible: fronds, pollen, seeds, bulb if you grow Florence fennel. The pollen is particularly special. It has this intensely sweet, anise-like flavor, and it's incredible dusted over fish or roasted vegetables or even vanilla ice cream. The flowers are small and yellow, and they attract so many insects. And for caterpillars of black swallowtail butterflies, same as dill, fennel is a host plant. I've watched swallowtail caterpillars munch through my fennel fronds, and I have never once minded because I know what those caterpillars are going to become. If you let fennel self-seed, you will have seedlings coming up in spring that you can either transplant to where you want them or let them grow in place. It's a beautiful architectural plant, tall, feathery, dramatic, and it earns every bit of space it takes up. And our 9th self-seeder, chamomile. German chamomile specifically, which is the annual type and the one that self-seeds so generously. Roman chamomile is a perennial, but it seeds itself around too, just less enthusiastically. I'm recommending German chamomile here because once you have it established, it basically becomes a permanent fixture. It seeds so freely that it bridges the gap between annual and perennial all on its own. Chamomile is one of those plants that makes a garden feel like a cottage garden, like something out of a dream. Low, spreading, covered in tiny white daisy flowers with yellow centers. And those flowers are the thing. Harvest them fresh for chamomile tea. Dry them. Infuse them into oil. Use them in skincare. Or just leave them for the bees and the hoverflies and watch your garden hum. I have a stretch of chamomile that runs along the front of one of my beds, and in June and July, it is one of the most alive corners of this whole property. Insects everywhere, all the time. The self-seeding habit of chamomile means that once you've got it going, your only job is deciding where you want it. Thin it out where it's too crowded, transplant seedlings to fill gaps, and let the rest just grow. It's forgiving. It's low maintenance, and it gives back more than you put in, which, honestly, is the whole philosophy of this kind of gardening. So there you have it. 9 plants that will come back for you, year after year, without asking for much in return. Cilantro, dill, lettuce, arugula, borage, nasturtiums, calendula, fennel, and chamomile. Some of these are going to give you food, some are going to give you medicine, some are just going to make your garden so beautiful and full of life that you'll forget all about the things that didn't work this year. The mindset shift that I think makes the biggest difference when you start growing self-seeders is learning to let go of perfect control. And I know that can be hard, especially if you're someone who really likes things neat and planned out. I'm that person too in a lot of ways. But there's something that happens when you start trusting the plants a little. When you leave a few bolted plants instead of pulling them, when you don't deadhead everything, when you let a corner of the garden get a little wild. And the garden starts responding in kind. It becomes more abundant, more layered, more interesting. You stop spending money on seeds for plants you already have. You stop worrying about succession planting every single thing. You start finding little seedlings in unexpected places and feeling a kind of delight about that instead of anxiety. It's a different relationship with your garden, and it's one I think a lot of you are going to love. Now, one practical note before I let you go. If you're just starting out with self-seeders, don't try to do all 9 at once. Pick 2 or 3 that you're most excited about. Get them established this year, let them seed, and build from there. Borage and calendula are probably my top recommendations if you want to start simple. They're generous, forgiving, and the self-seeding payoff is basically immediate. Add dill and cilantro if you cook it all. And go from there. Also, and I say this every time I talk about self-seeding plants, learn what the seedlings look like. This is genuinely the most important thing. If you don't know what cilantro or chamomile or arugula looks like as a tiny seedling, you might pull them thinking they're weeds. Spend a little time with each plant as it germinates, get familiar with the leaf shape, and you'll be so glad you did. There are some great resources online. I've linked a few in the description, and honestly, just searching the plant name plus seedling will give you a ton of images to reference. Alright, that is everything I've got for you today. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you might think, and I am so grateful for every single one of you who watches and comments and shares these videos. If you've got a favorite self-seeder that I didn't mention, drop it in the comments below, because I'd love to hear what's reseeding itself in your garden right now. I will see you in the next one. Happy gardening, everyone. Take care.